Last time we walked through the System tab setting up your video and audio I/O. Today we're still in Preferences, but we're moving on to something that directly affects your input and output, the Video and Audio Plugins and Control Panel section. This is where Resolve decides what extra tools it can use, things like video effects, audio plugins, and external control panels that connect to your hardware. Our first section is Video Plugins. This section is all about OpenFX plugins, basically third-party effects you can add to expand Resolve's toolbox. As you can see from mine, I have Dehancer installed here. It's also important to note that Resolve will also skip a plugin that might have previously crashed or was hanging your system. Packs installed as Fusion templates, macros, titles, transitions, and effects don't appear here because they're not OFX. You'll find them directly in the effects library on the edit page. Our next section is Audio Plugins. This section manages third-party audio plugins. Resolve supports VST plugins on macOS. They all appear in the effects library. If a VST installs to a non-standard location, you can use the Add button to point Resolve to that particular folder. The available plugin list shows each plugin's type and category. You can enable or disable individual plugins, or you can enable and disable all for troubleshooting. Resolve will also skip any plugin that previously caused a crash or was hanging during loading. Below this is External Audio Process. This feature lets you send an audio clip out of Resolve and into another application. This could be to perform a detailed cleanup and then bring that processed audio back into your Fairlight timeline. In order to enable this, you're going to want to click the Add button, then browse to your application file of your preferred editor. Give it a friendly name like Isotope RX Cleanup, and then click Save. Restart Resolve if prompted. After you've set this up, your chosen editor will appear in Fairlight's right-click context menu under External Audio Process. If you want to send your audio to that app, choose External Audio Process and select the title that you created. Resolve exports the selected clip as a temporary WAV file to its cache location. The file name includes the clip title, date, and timestamp. Resolve then launches your external program and opens that file automatically. Once you're done your editing in the external editor, click Save, not Save As. Resolve will detect the updated file automatically because the path hasn't changed, and your timeline clip will update on playback. The next section is the Control Panel section. If you've ever seen those crazy hardware panels with trackballs, knobs, and faders, this is where they get set up. First is the color grading panel. If you don't own one, no worries, just leave it set to none. Resolve works perfectly fine with a mouse and keyboard. Next is the Audio Console selection, which is for physical Fairlight audio control surfaces or supported MIDI controllers. Unless you're working with a dedicated audio hardware device, you can leave this set to none. And then there's the head tracker. This is used for immersive 3D audio monitoring like Dolby Atmos. If you're not doing immersive audio work, you can just leave this set at none. And then the last thing is a checkbox to display the control panel status in the main footer of Resolve. This simply shows an indicator at the bottom of Resolve when a hardware panel is connected. So if you're using Blackmagic's dedicated hardware, this is where you will want to set it up and configure it. Otherwise, leaving everything set to none is completely fine because Resolve gives you full control without any hardware. In our next video, we'll be moving on to the general settings on the System tab in the Preference menu. Be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.